Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video, and welcome to ACT Expo 2024. We are kicking off our entire coverage of the show, of course, with StarCharge. They've been great supporters of Out of Spec this year. We love working with them, and they have a whole range of electric vehicle charging products focused primarily on fleets at this show. We've already done a full tour video when we were at CES 2024, I guess it would be, early 24, where we went through almost their entire product line. Well, now there's some updates, there's some new things, and fleet EV specific charging applications for everything from small city cars up to semi-truck megawatt charging, crazy stuff. So I want to show you the entire booth here at ACT 2024 for StarCharge. We're of course going to talk to our friend Stu. We're going to talk to a few others from the team as well, and should be a fun video for you guys to kick off ACT 2024. Let's do it. So just like we did the last time we did the full tour of StarCharge, Stu, who is awesome, who runs a lot of the StarCharge stuff, is going to help us really learn about these products and show everything. But I wanted to give you a quick run through of the booth here, show you some of their fleet dispensers that you can pull down using really nice Phoenix contact cables in this particular one. And you can see just how small, if you look all the way up, these sort of cable management systems are. It's really nice cable management, also having some of the components of the EVSE all the way up in here. But these are hooked into sort of a DC split system that can have up to 12 outputs. It's really cool. Stu's going to go into more detail and talk about that. But there's also AC products. So of course, most charging, at least when possible, it's going to be a lot cheaper to install AC charging, and so we're seeing a lot of fleets that have dwell time for their vehicles put in AC chargers, and they have everything from 32 amps to 80 amps up to 19.2 kilowatt available in many different configurations. They have different cable management, such as sort of a garden hose style, or even all the way down to a post style where you can pull the cable down. And so what they're showing here is really the flexibility of their charging systems. NACS is also a huge topic, and something we're going to talk about in today's video. But NACS is, from their perspective, even talking to all the OEMs that StarCharge works with. By the way, they have like a huge OE division where they produce and even white label or make custom EVSEs for automakers. They're like, everyone is asking for NACS. This is, you know, the way forward. There's been a little bit of hesitation in the market. What's going to happen? Are we going back to J1772 or CCS? No, the future clearly is NACS, and StarCharge is supporting that 100%. So here they have some of their NACS solutions. They also are supporting NEVI compliant solutions. NEVI, National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Program, has certain mandates as to power levels and requirements to put in chargers, and that's where a lot of the government money is going. So you're going to see a trend, of course, at ACT and across the industry to find NEVI compliance chargers that are built in America and have certain parts counts and all this stuff. Of course, StarCharge has a fantastic NEVI solution, both in 150 kilowatt or 320 kilowatt. Here would be displayed the 320 kilowatt Titan all-in-one situation, and that's where you have minimum 150 kilowatts available per port, per requirements. Over here, just as a quick high level, Stu can talk a little bit more about this. This is a dispenser for a split system. This one can actually run up to 650 amps, big boy, liquid cooled, pretty awesome. This also can go down as low as you really need it to. However, for sort of the low power air cooled situations, they're going to have a new design, a new dispenser that's going to be launching in just a few months. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing the new design language, very modern, very cool. But if you need big boy full power, well, they've got that here as well, up to some serious power levels, and even down to small power. A lot of applications, fleet customers especially, who have, you know, Silverado EV is a clear example, where you have 200 plus kilowatt hour battery packs, where even 80 amp 19.2 kilowatt AC charging isn't enough. Well, you need some low power DC, and that's where a wall mounted situation makes sense like this. Dealerships, we see a lot of these types of solutions. It's very cool. So that's just a quick high level overview of what they have on display. Stu's going to really get into more detail with us and tell us, you know, the full situation as to what is going on here, the customers, the demand, what he's seeing in the industry. It's also a great opportunity to talk to folks in the charging industry to see where everything is going and their predictions. And of course, We always read your comments on these. Star Charger is going to be closely monitoring the comment section. If there's products that you like or dislike, let everyone know. What do you want to see more of? Where do you, especially if you're a fleet customer or an OE, what products are you looking for? What power levels most interest you? But anyway, let's get Stu on camera. He's great, no delay. Let's go through and go into detail on all of the products on display. Guys, you should remember Stu from our first full tour video. Stu, tell us a bit about what the heck has been going on with StarCharge, because of course that was sort of the market entry into the US. Things have been ripping. What's going on? Yeah, no, we've been in full gear since CES when I talked to you last. A lot of good stuff coming on. So we have 3 offices now. We have our Irvine office, which is where I'm based out of. So we have a small staff there that's quickly growing. So now that we actually get the keys this week, and we'll start building out the furniture, the testing lab, the training facility that's there. So that'll be like the interop testing lab with other vehicles. Interop testing lab, correct, for both vehicles and for OCPP software. And so, yeah, it's going to be a beautiful place. It has a little showroom inside and things like that. So we're going to be hiring a ton of people there and different capabilities. And yeah, so we're super excited about that. We also are expanding our Fremont office. So we had a smaller Fremont office for the last couple of years as we've been here. And so that's going to be doubling in size. Actually, we have that facility already. Ravi, who was on the video at CES. Actually, shout out Ravi, he's awesome. He's the technical nerd here. Yeah, and he's on vacation this week, so go have fun, Ravi. Anyways, so he's up there. He's setting up a bigger facility with the rest of the team up there. Our president sits up there. A bunch of other key staff sit up there. So that office has just boomed full of people. And then we also have the Ohio facility. So the Ohio facility is up and running. The lines are being designed and implemented right now. So they're basically just waiting for those NEVI orders. So the Ohio's the production one. That's Ohio's production. And so Columbus, Ohio. So we have that facility up and running now. And so, yeah, I mean, all 3 facilities are just growing very, very quickly. A lot of exciting things have been happening. We've been onboarding a lot of really key personnel in sales, in product, also in engineering, in just operations, finance. We've got a lot of really smart people now, and we're continuing to grow. And so you still have job openings? We should have some of our viewers come. We do. Please check top LinkedIn. Talent. Yes, check LinkedIn. And so we definitely do. Been interviewing a ton, and yeah, just good stuff. I mean, building a great team. And I think this year we still have more to do. But yeah, so we're here in Las Vegas again. I think this is the 4th show I've been at this year. There was CES, WPMA, EVCS, and now this show. So. Yep. You know, I practically live here now. But yeah, we have a lot of cool stuff to show you. Some updates on the hardware, some stuff that we're making announcements on, some of the cooler fleet, specific products. Yeah, because ACT, this is actually the first show we're doing, the first video we're doing at ACT. Maybe you can just briefly explain to our viewers what this show is all about. It's not like just consumer charging. This is fleet charging. This is fleet charging, right? So the Clean Transportation Show. And this show doubles like every year, right? Yeah, for those of us who been with the show since Long Beach a couple of years ago, and before that, you know, this was kind of a science experiment, right? And you'll see more than just EV, right? So there's hydrogen and some of the other clean technologies that are here, and it's all super cool to learn about. But this show's grown. It's grown and grown and grown, and it's like the place for all of the automotive OEMs who have the big trucks and the hustlers and the Class 6, Class 8s to come together and meet with infrastructure providers, the turnkey providers, right, the hardware providers, and it's just I think it's one of the best shows out there. We're trying to solve how do we decarbonize the transportation industry, right? Yeah, and trucks emit a lot. Trucks, right? And especially the big Class 8s, the overland trucking, the point-to-point, the mid-route. I mean, there's just a ton of applications here. And, you know, yard trucks and, Class 6, even normal delivery trucks, light-duty vehicles, all of that is going to be electrified or is in the process of being electrified. So there's a lot of cool conversations, a lot of industry, challenges to overcome. Right, and so there's companies like us, and everybody in this room has a place in, figuring out a lot of these challenges, right? How to make things cost-effective, how to make things reliable, how to make things, all the standards. Kind of the conversation we had just before this, trying to make the standards make sense and have everybody abide by them and agree on things, right? So,
it's a cool spot to be in.
So before we go on the tour, maybe our audience understands cars, we understand this. We, of course, cover the charging industry. You have been a longtime supporter of Out of Spec. We appreciate that.
Yep.
Can you help our audience figure out where StarCharge fits into the market? Obviously you have, I don't think even they realize, you've been making charging products for years, especially overseas.
Correct, yeah. So our company's been in business since 2014. So we have different business models in different regions. Okay, so in different countries we act like a CPO. We do everything soup to nuts, right? Just like a CPO would. In this region and in Europe as well, we are a hardware provider. And so particularly this region, we are not using our own software for a lot of things. I think there's a lot of concerns that we're addressing. One of the things is being an overseas company, particularly, tied back to China, that there is a cybersecurity concerns, right? So we don't have our own software here. Also, we make great relationships with all of the OCPP providers, so I don't want to compete with them either, right? There are other,
you want to be totally open
standards, right? So there are other, choices we could have made around doing that, but we didn't want to. We wanted to say, okay, well, look, we're hardware only, right? So we'll help with integrations and things like that, but ultimately, we're not going to step on any toes that way.
Yep.
And so, yeah, we've been doing a lot of work on the integrations with just about every OCPP provider. If you're an OCPP provider and out there and you haven't done an integration with us, let me know. We'll get you scheduled. But that's been a big effort right now because there's like 30 of them.
Yeah,
right?
of course. And OCPP, Open Charge Point Protocol, we have podcasts on how that works if you want to learn a little bit more. But my impression of StarCharge is like really hardcore, nice hardware.
Yes.
Like just reliable. I just heard a stat, 25% of your staff works in R&D. It's crazy, something like this.
Yeah, so out of roughly 4,000 plus people, we have 1,000 in engineering.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's a lot. And our labs are super cool. We need to get you out there, by the way. But yeah, so we have a full suite of products from AC up to high-powered DC. We have MCS coming out soon. We have also energy storage, and doing the energy storage, the integration work is also, because again, overseas we have our own software, but here we're going to be using third-party software and third-party controllers to integrate with our chargers and our energy storage. That way, all of the customer data, all of the O&M, everything like that stays stateside, or I should say North America side, because Canada too, love you guys. And so, we're doing a lot there to allay a lot of the fears. So either from like utility customers or some of the other ones that have, concerns about, data, going overseas.
Sure.
We're stopping all that. And that's why even my email address has changed, because our email addresses stay stateside without anything going over. Our SAP, our Salesforce instance, all of that stuff is all stateside now.
Yeah.
And so we've done quite a bit of work growing and maturing as a company here in the US, because we're kind of a startup splintering off of the larger company. But yeah, just a lot of cool stuff going on in that area as well.
So show us what you got.
Sure. So this is the highlight of the show, right? So this is a mock gantry for our fleets, right? So one of the problems with fleets is space. You need to get equipment off the ground. And, putting a charger, especially high-powered DC, you get a big dispenser all in one unit right there at the parking space.
That could be huge. Yeah.
One, vehicle strikes are an issue because, it's hard to park these vehicles.
Yeah.
And then two, you need to have the reach. And a lot of these, the depots are so tightly packed with the vehicles that you really can't fit in between, right?
Sure.
Some of them are on pull-through stalls, some of them they're backing up the conveyor belts or loading docks or things like that. Other times they're just in yards where, if you've seen how they pack these Class 6, Class 8 trucks together, they back them in.
Yeah, they're jammed.
there's inches between them, right?
Yeah.
So we have a split system. We have a Nova. We have the sign over there, but we have a Nova. We call it Nova Power Cabinet. It's 720 kilowatts.
But you can go anywhere in between, right?
Anywhere in between.
Okay.
With up to 12 outputs. And so we have a few different configurations coming in the future, but the one we're leading off with is the 12 output. So that allows, if you have 12 vehicles on there, to do 40 or 80 kilowatts a piece. And then if you only have 1 or 2 vehicles on it, 3 vehicles, you can share power.
Yeah, you can go full send.
Exactly. So this is our Triton dispenser, and it comes with a cable management system on the side. So you can put it on a gantry and pull through, plug in your vehicle, right? That way it gets everything off the ground, out of the way. It's better for OSHA. There's no tripping hazards, right?
Yep.
And so if you have this mounted to a gantry, then it's completely out of the way. And you have your overnight charging and your opportunity charging in one set of equipment. And you're not having to put in, say, a bunch of 30 kilowatt wall boxes, plus like a 180 fast charger as well.
Yeah. So talk us through what the heck is going on up here. 'Cause these are tiny.
These are tiny. This is just a dispenser module. So if you open up our other dispenser, it's the same guts inside. In terms
really? This is like what's in there, basically?
It's the same thing. It's the same control box. It's just no screen, no authentication, right? And if you need that, then we actually have a control box over on this side.
Oh, cool.
And so this box can control your Triton dispensers, right? With credit card reader, RFID, right? You have your
so if you're a driver, you could hit your pass if you need to. Okay.
So some fleet, managers, they want to have that RFID authentication. Some find that it's not worth the hassle, especially if it's already behind the fence.
Yeah, if you're behind the fence, whatever plugs in, just give it.
Just plug it in, right? So, but if you need it, this. And then there's some people that are doing innovative things on trying to figure out how to squirrel these away in like more aesthetically pleasing boxes.
Okay.
Some people are looking at maybe putting them in like light posts or
for like off-street parking or for malls or something like that.
And then you would use this to do credit card. Say I'm in slot number 1 and I would like to pay for my charging.
I love the idea of having like a central payment terminal to activate posts. And so one of these can feed up to 12 dispensers.
One of these at the moment does 4.
Does 4,
because it's meant for the current Neptune, which only has 4 output. But we're looking at expanding the amount of charges it can do.
Cool.
So, and then so back to the Triton.
Yeah.
You can see it's slightly bigger than a bread box, right about the size of your torso. Yeah. It's super light as well. So you're not having, you can put these in with just a couple of people by hand. You're not having to bring in a forklift or cranes or things like that to install it, which is super important.
It's also unusual for very high power charging. Things get really heavy and really expensive very quickly.
So we've already installed these in Europe on gantries, and so we have some renderings of what that looks like.
Overlaid here.
Yeah, we couldn't share pictures because it's behind the fence at a customer, but we do have several of these installed over there.
Great.
They work great. And so this is what this is meant. So you pull your truck in through here, right? And then the driver gets out and pulls in the charging like that. So
that's perfect.
Should be a very cost-effective solution as well, because you're not paying for 12 different screens, 12 different credit card readers, 12 different boxes with lights and things like that, right? 12 different cable retraction. That's more expensive. You're just having a cheaper box tied to a bigger tower.
Roughly, what's the cost of this compared to doing all-in-ones everywhere? Is this more expensive?
Oh, compared to all-in-ones? No.
It's got to be
much less expensive.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't do the fuzzy math in my head that quickly.
Sure,
but you are looking at less.
Is this the most cost-effective way to get high-power charging to a bunch of vehicles?
Exactly.
Because you're going to do centralized.
If you're looking for a
power.
solution like this, where you're looking at low-power DC with the capability of doing opportunity charging as well, yes, absolutely.
And how many of these installs do you expect to pair with your other energy solutions, like the battery pack? Because those battery packs are a couple hundred kilowatt hours, and you can string them together.
250 kilowatt hours. You can parallel them together. I was actually at a location overseas that was 8 megawatt hours.
So dang.
It was 32 of them together, 32. And that installation didn't have any chargers at all. So it was just a factory backup. Yeah.
Wow.
So we're looking at a lot of opportunities here to pair the batteries with certain fleet applications. Also for like dealerships and things that they want to have just maybe 1 or 2 just to peak shedding. So with a control box, you can actually pull from the grid and the battery at the same time to feed the charger.
Amazing.
And so the charger doesn't care where it gets its power from, right?
Yeah.
And so
it just needs a steady power source.
And on that point, we are working with some OCPP providers to do the integration for not only the chargers, but also the batteries as well. So that way the customers can get one dashboard for both their energy management and their charging management.
Perfect.
Yeah, so that's going to be announced here pretty soon. But
it's announced right now, actually.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, with the specific people,
yeah,
because we're working on this with a few people. So yeah, it'll be very cool when it comes out.
So of course, I want to talk a little bit more DC in a little bit, but can you walk us through some of your AC products as well?
Sure. Let's go over here.
Yeah, the people at the show, so we might have to go this way a little bit, but sorry to push you guys out of the way.
We got some of our friends from Canada over there.
Yeah, awesome.
So we have 3 Artemis. These come in 2 styles. One is a 3248 amp that's toggleable. So you just pull off the cover, and there's a little
dip switch or a little thing.
Exactly. It's just a little knob that you turn to choose either 3248 amp. I think there's a little bit more variation as well. This is shown with no cable management, just basically a garden hose hook. And some people like these, although I tend to like an actual cable management. So here's our post. The cable management's pretty smooth, comes out very easy. And so this is just a very cost-effective way to put cable management, especially for fleets. If it doesn't need to be particularly, good looking, you can still brand it, put your logo at the top.
Yeah, you can wrap this and make it all look good.
Exactly.
But then I'm also noticing, before we get into this situation, can you walk us through NACS?
Oh, yeah.
Because you got a really nice
NACS
connector
is here.
on there.
You can order it today. And so this is the Amphenol.
Yeah, super top quality. Love that.
And so we are producing these, so they're on our price list.
So you can go up to 80 amp NACS then.
We're going to 80 amp NACS.
Hell
so,
yeah.
We're super excited. This is not an 80 amp. You can tell because the 80 amps only come with a screen. So the 3248 amp that comes with or without a screen, the 80 amp only comes with a screen.
Okay. And I know obviously this is a fleet show. You're talking to people who are not just going to order one, but 10, 100, 1,000.
Right.
But can consumers just buy one, or is that just not the business?
No.
Yeah, this is big scale.
Yeah. So we work with our customers at a commercial level. So you can't go to like Costco and buy one off the shelf. Yeah,
sure. Yeah, just wanted to, because I know everyone would ask, be like, 80 amp NACS, where do I get one? Because Tesla doesn't even provide that.
Correct.
And it's like, okay,
go through one of our partners. Yeah, go through one of our partners. If you want to buy one from me directly, typically it's not something we do. So,
sure.
But for fleets, especially the wall-mounted cable retraction is super important because, again, people are backing those trucks up, even light-duty trucks, right? They're backing them into a garage or something like that. You need to put these things on a wall.
Yeah, so you can go like Silverado EV, boom. You can even park it a little bit farther away if you need to. Pull this out, and then you're good to rock and roll.
Exactly.
So that's awesome. Love to see that.
Yeah, no.
Perfect.
That's good. I need one for my Tesla.
I was going to say, can I just have one of these? Because
I don't have an L2 yet in my house. I need one.
Oh, dang. Well, you're an EV driver. What do you do? Just charge at the office?
No, I just don't drive that much. So I just use the level 1 straight out of the house.
That's amazing. I love that. Okay.
When I need to top it off, I go to a fast charger, like Tesla network. But
there you go. You don't need expensive infrastructure.
Yeah.
Don't run a fleet with this logic.
No, don't run a fleet with this logic at all. No.
Okay. Speaking of more consumer style, I mean, of course, this is what maybe our audience would interact with out in the field.
Right.
This is something a CPO might purchase.
Correct.
What's going on
There's
here?
a lot of fleets actually using these. These are meant for public charging, right? For a lot of retail applications, you wanted to have something like this. You didn't want to put a separate cabinet and dispenser, right? You don't have the space for the cabinets, and you don't need the highest of power, right? The thing is, though, we're going up to 320 kilowatts now with this all-in-one unit. So if you have the space of the parking lot, this is really the perfect solution. So it's a 300 amp cable with 500 amp boost mode. Basically, it goes up about 15 minutes on 500 amps before it needs to cool down.
Which there's really no vehicle that's going to pull 500 amps for that long. I mean, maybe some of the truck stuff, but probably not unless you pull in dead. But like this is enough to run even the new refresh Taycan full send for a charging process, which is amazing.
So that's the logic. Most of even the light duty of consumer vehicles, when you get into Class 8s, that's a little bit different.
Yeah, those are big batteries that are sitting flat out.
But for a lot of that fleet application, these are more than enough. And you can pull these into an island, right?
Yep.
You can put them into a bank against the wall or something like that. And a lot of people, they'll use a bunch of 80 amp L2s for your overnight charging and then maybe have one or two of these for opportunity charging.
Yeah, or if someone forgets to plug something in, just something where you can zap up really quickly.
Sometimes drivers, they don't seat the connector correctly, they walk away or something like that. So you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh no, I need charging right away.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you have one of these.
Always have a DC charging on hand. Even us, we need it from time to time.
That's kind of the problem that the Triton dispenser is trying to solve, is that instead of having two separate pieces of equipment for infrastructure, now the easier thing is that with this style is that the L2s typically don't require a utility upgrade as much as the DC does, right? So that's the trade-off is, okay, do you want that functionality in one set of equipment? Great, that's a higher power, utility and breaker, it's more expensive.
Yeah.
Or do you want to go with this, which is, a couple of different types of equipment which you have to manage, but typically utility upgrades are not as hard. So there's a lot of considerations there. If anybody's watching this, you want to talk to me about it, please, I invite you. We'll sit down and chat about your situation and what's best.
Yeah.
And then next door we have
But just to clarify, this is NEVI. Fully compliant.
So yes, so we have a 150 kilowatt and a 320 kilowatt NEVI compliant.
And the 150 is a single cable, the 320 is dual.
One or two, but only one works at a time.
Okay. So you could do like a CHAdeMO or CCS or CCS.
I wouldn't do CHAdeMO, but I would do CCS and NACS.
There we go. Speaking my language. I don't know why I even said CHAdeMO. I'm trying to save it for the Leaf drivers out there, guys.
We got Kyle stuck here in 2010.
Yeah.
So Yeah, so this is, it's a very good solution. And for the 320, I would definitely recommend either dual NACS, dual CCS, or CCS NACS. You can use both at the same time.
And you can go up to 2 outputs on this one, or 4? Two outputs, okay,
yeah.
yep.
And then we have, as a teaser, I'll say, we do have a lower cost 160. That's about half the footprint coming out. We will be displaying it hopefully at NACS coming up in October.
Will that be NEVI, do you think?
Yes.
Okay, because it's 10 over minimum.
10 over minimum.
Okay.
And it'll be a lower
going to be tiny.
Tiny, about half the size of the footprint of this.
Dang, because this is already pretty small.
Yes. So very much looking forward to that one. Yeah. And then for split systems, we have our current dispenser. This is our Neptune dispenser. It can be paired with our current 240 or 480 towers, or our Nova 720 tower. So if you have a 720 tower, you can have 6 of these, 12 ports total, running that. And some people like that. They like to have the screen for drivers. Even in a fleet application, you still like to have the screens. You have enough space at the parking spot.
Can you mix these with the fleet roof ones?
Absolutely.
So you could do like 6 roof ones and a couple of these in there. And okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can mix and match that way. And then we have some of the brochures around, and I'll send you some pictures afterwards, but we do have a new dispenser that we're going to be showing at NACS as well. We call it the Aries dispenser. And so this one is 300 amp. The Aries will have, I think, around 375 air-cooled cables with 500 amp boost mode.
Right, because this will boost to 500.
This one will not.
Okay.
The all-in ones will.
But you could do a liquid-cooled version of this, right?
Coming.
Okay.
So that's the other one. So there's 2 more dispensers coming. So there's the Aries. It looks beautiful. I love it. Can't have it fast enough. I think I talked about it at CES.
Yeah.
Still not here. Coming. Going through UL.
And that's going to like look modern and really sick.
Yes, very, very. I can't wait to show you guys.
Okay.
But then the other one will be the same box as this, but it will be liquid cooled. So we're looking at 500 amp sustain, 650 boost mode for a liquid cooled dispenser. That'll be out shipping in early next year.
Awesome.
So
that'll be perfect for the Tesla charging because they require high current, but for a short period of time, and so you'll be able to get those big
Class
Tesla
8
curves.
trucks. So the Class 6, Class 8 trucks add the larger batteries, the 300, 400 kilowatt hour batteries.
Yeah.
You need that sustained, high power going through, and you can't get that off a lower amperage. So we're going to be releasing that soon with the high amperage sustained cables. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm very, very, very excited about that.
Love that. And what do you have over here?
So this is our 30 kilowatt wall box. I mean, this is our standard wall box unit. A lot of fleets use these light duties when 19.2 kilowatts, 80 amp isn't enough, right? I mean, if you're looking at we said Silverado was 240 kilowatt hours, right? So you're doing 6% status charge. So you're looking at, with 180 kilowatt hours, right? So you're looking at, it's over 10 hours of charging when you get through inefficiencies and things like that, right? So sometimes that dwell time, it's not enough. And so you need to go up a little bit, but not a ton, right? So you throw in some of these and
this is perfect because again, that 19.2 kilowatts at 240 volts.
Right.
And so most businesses are going to be at 208. So now you're in that 16 range.
Exactly.
And so then it's like, okay, if you got
12, 13 hours.
and it gets rough.
It does.
Yeah.
So this is the answer for that one. And it's nice, it's small, it can be installed by 2 people with hands. You don't need a forklift. So, it's really a good solution for that low power DC charging.
Amazing. So that's sort of a fleet overview of what you guys do.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing the breadth of StarCharge. If you guys aren't familiar, I still think you should watch the CES 2024 video if you guys haven't. I mean, that really goes through the company. A beautiful display, of course, just like this one.
Yeah.
And Stu, can't thank you enough for the full tour.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to one of your colleagues coming up now about some of your OE deals. Who are we going to talk to and what are we going to learn about?
So Larry Selesky is our VP for OEM, and he's the one who works with all automotive manufacturers. A lot of really good stuff going on in terms of like their own needs for their factories or development centers, dealerships, the direct fleet programs that they have, interoperability testing, things like what's going on at Charin and at the Testival. So there's quite a bit of work there to be done, and now there's so many OEMs, right, in the show. I mean, it's just there's more and more every day, right?
Yeah.
I mean, every year, that's why this show is doubling, right? And so he's doing a ton of great work there. And with our new labs in Irvine, the bigger lab now going in Fremont, the lab that's going to be going in Ohio, we're going to be close to a lot of the automotive manufacturers.
Yeah.
That way they can bring vehicles in, get tested, do the interop, make sure that the firmware is upgraded, make sure that everything works perfectly.
Honestly, your locations are perfect. You'll get all the California ones, you get all the Detroit ones, and there's our car market.
That's what we aimed for. So I think this year's we're going to end it really well, and super excited. I think we have one more show, NACS, coming up.
North American Convenience Store, not North American
Convenience Show.
Okay,
or something like
not
that.
North American Charging Standard.
No.
But you will have NACS on NACS.
On NACS.
Yeah.
NACS at NACS.
Yeah.
Yes. But so that's the next one. And but yeah, I mean, we're just doing more work.
Love it. It's awesome. Yeah. So more to come. We're going to go talk to Larry. Looking forward to it. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it always. Thanks for supporting Out of Spec.
Of course.
And we got more to do. Let's get to talking. Guys, you joined me with Larry Selesky, who's responsible for a lot of the OE collaborations that StarCharge is working with. And obviously, I'm sure there's many things you can't tell us about that you're working on.
So, some of those I cannot, but I'm definitely happy to share with you everything that I can and talk about what we're doing with our automotive OEM customers.
This is what's fascinating because a lot of, automakers, we're always working with them, reviewing their cars. And, of course, they're in the business of producing vehicles and not so much vehicle infrastructure, at least most of them. And so that's where they need to find a high quality partner to either white label physical hardware or software solutions to tie it all together. What is StarCharge's place with an OEM? How does that, where do you fit in?
Well, that's a great question, and we fit in the sense of providing support for their consumers of their vehicles, for their internal facilities and for their plants, and also for their commercial accounts, which of course is a wide range of operations. You've got construction, you've got delivery, you've got small companies, medium-sized, large companies, and they all have different needs for their fleets, and actually for their employees as well. So where StarCharge fits in with all that is with our wide product portfolio, from AC, down starting with 32 amps and then moving up to 80, and then moving into the DC as low as 30 amps and moving up to 720. 720 kilowatts. Then we were able to offer a full suite of products to serve each of those needs. Additionally, many of the commercial customers of our OEM business, they'll be operating microgrids. And
can you explain what that would even mean? Like, what is a microgrid?
So a microgrid is essentially a self-contained power unit, which can power either a house or a neighborhood, or a hospital, small business, clinic, so that if there's a power outage, they are self-sufficient. They're able to continue to run.
So they'll have a generation source, whether it's renewable or a diesel generator or natural
and
gas
hopefully
generator.
not a diesel generator.
Sure,
right?
but, as long as you have the power, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the microgrid, we provide battery systems for storage, so that somebody can produce power with solar or with wind, store it, and then have it available. Those units even allow someone to use it as a virtual power plant, where if your utility allows you to sell that power back to the utility company. And we actually have installments where that's being done already.
So I guess that's similar to like that battery enclosure that we saw at CES when we did the initial full tour with you guys.
Yes.
And so I can't remember, but that's up to many hundreds of kilowatt hours. How big can you go?
That can go. Each installment is over 270 kilowatt hours.
And you can link them together.
Yes, and we've got sites where they've put 36 of those units in sequence, and it allows them to run, very large operations. And if you imagine many businesses, especially with equipment that's sensitive to temperature or sensitive to time, and if you lose power for a minute, it's very, very costly.
Of course, it can be deadly in a case of a hospital.
Yes, it can.
So you need serious, consistent power. So that's cool. We've already seen that, I guess, battery system. OEs would be interested in using this in what capacity?
Well, the OEs is servicing their commercial accounts. they would prefer, in many cases, to be full service and offer a full service solution, so that you know, their customers rely on them for consultation, for product, for service, for, you know, for the technology and education, and in order for them to do that, they need partners to provide that equipment.
The full suite. And so that's kind of cool. So someone could go to a XYZ major automaker and say, okay, we're going to buy, or I should say a company could buy, you know, 1,500 electric vans from, I don't know, Ram ProMaster. I'm just making one up. And they could say, okay, but now Stellantis could provide the charging solutions, the battery backup storage and everything. That's just one example, but there's any car company could do that with your services.
Yes, if you imagine somebody in a fleet account area can go to their customer and say, you know, we can help you operate more efficiently with this range of products, and show them and educate them. But in order to do that, they have to know that that product is available. And that's where StarCharge comes in, is that we have the full suite of energy storage solutions.
Yeah, you have everything.
Yes.
And so what adaptations can you make to the hardware to work for the OEs? Can you brand it? Can you do special casing, special design? What are the scope of possibilities?
We have branding in many cases using the same design of the case that we have, and maybe changing the color of the case, putting a different logo on it. We have some cases where they want a custom case design, and we're able to do that as well. And in the case of custom products, we are designing custom charging solutions for some of our customers. Fleet rescue vehicles, for example, different configurations of that using AC and DC equipment. So the key for us is that with our customers having a variety of different needs, we've realized that we have to be adaptable, and we're not just take one out of a box and use this, but we'll put our resources together, and we're able to come up with very effective solutions to match any case that comes up.
Yeah, so if you're a large automaker or a startup, or really any automaker that could be coming, you can have, you know, rather than spending time and engineering resources and, you know, X number of whatever to develop your own line of products, you could just go straight to you guys. You already have everything. Charging is, you know, it just needs to work.
Yes.
And this stuff works.
Yes.
So then you're good to rock and roll.
I mean, that's our whole business. This isn't a part of some other business. This is our business.
Yep.
And we've got the resources to put on it. 25% of our workforce works in R&D.
Yeah, wow.
And it gives us a phenomenal ability to come up with creative, efficient solutions. And you'll see some examples in our booth here today when you walk around. We've got some great stuff coming up, and it's really exciting to see even what's in the pipeline behind what's here.
Yeah, well, can't wait to share some future product when we're able to. But thanks for taking the time. And
Thank you.
Yeah, if you're an automaker or need a bunch of chargers, this is your guy. So I'll make sure all the contact info is at the bottom of this video so you can get in touch. Well, there you guys go. That's a full tour of the full fleet offerings that StarCharge has. Of course, this isn't anything as a general viewer, an EV owner, that we are able to purchase, but it's really cool to know about what is going on behind the scenes in the industry that large companies are being pitched. You know, we're not talking about selling just 1 or 2 chargers. We're talking about 1 or 2,000 chargers. Some big deals that are about to happen here this week at ACT. Really cool stuff. Thank you so much for watching another Out of Spec Reviews video, and we'll see you on another one again soon, probably from ACT. Bye-bye.